Today we're gonna be watching the deluded downfall of J-Bay, who is a fat activist. I've never heard of this person before.
What started with innocent makeup reviews quickly spiraled into a plus-size clown show as J-Bay petitioned for wider hallways, stronger elevators, and bigger airplane seats. However, her downfall into delusion seems to have all come to a head in the past couple of months, as J-Bay has found herself thrown into prison. When I looked at the life of J-Bay closer, I found delusion, begging, hypocrisy, and honestly, so much worse.
I mean, it is kind of delusional when you're kind of requesting private companies to change themselves to fit you. That's kind of like, I don't know if Delulu or just main character syndrome, but like, thrown into jail though? What happened here?
But it wasn't always like this, and JB actually started out with pretty standard content. Jalen Chaley officially started her YouTube channel named JB in 2019. It was a far cry from her fat activist content, and she actually started out doing just standard makeup and fashion reviews, but obviously with her plus size twist.
Hey guys, thank you so much for coming here to my channel. I'm so excited to share the products that I have that I'm going to unbox for you guys today.
As Jalen introduced us to her channel, the first thing that sticks out is her breathing tube, which is surprising to see considering she's just 22 years old when she posted the video. And it reminds
22? With a breathing?
me a bit of Penny from My £600 Life, who was never seen without her breathing tube, despite actually nothing being wrong with her. JB also expands on what she does for a living, or maybe closer to what she doesn't do.
I haven't really addressed it, but right now I've been going through some health issues for the past few months.
And those health issues are pretty clearly related to her weight, as she has recently revealed that she weighs over 500 pounds. And this
how much is that in kilograms? 500 freaking pounds? 500 pounds to kilograms. The reason I'm laughing is because this is what Google showed me. Let me actually. Oh, there we go. I'm like 500 pounds to kilograms. Nah. It didn't even want to do it. It was like, nah. Okay. Even Google doesn't want to convert. Yeah, I was like very confused, man. Oh. Okay, so it's like 226 kilograms. 226 kilograms. That's a fucking lot, man. What the That's a lot, man. That's a lot of kilograms. 226? Dude, my friend at his worst was, I think, 180 kilograms. And he got a feeding surgery tube inserted in his stomach to help him with that. Like, damn.
Weight, as she has recently revealed that she weighs over 500 pounds. And this massive weight is something that's become a focal point of her content. As she
I mean, let's not get into the how many paws does she weigh.
started to realize that her clothing videos weren't getting the views that she wanted, except maybe the lingerie try-ons, which I won't be showing here. JB decided to pivot slightly, and we can see the seeds of this idea when she uploaded her video titled Fat Shaming Storytime at the end of 2019.
Okay.
She shared her stories of how she's been shamed for her weight in there.
So anyway, I grew up around a lot of body shaming, a lot of fat shaming, drug addicts, guns, gun violence, gangs, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I had lots of family members tell me I wasn't gonna be shit. I wasn't gonna ever graduate high school because neither of my parents graduated high school. My mom had me when she was a teen, so I was told I was gonna be a slut and have 2 kids by the time I was 17 years old. I was gonna live off welfare. I was gonna be just terrible, you know.
Okay, okay, what does that have to do with fat shaming though? Like, I feel sorry for her that she grew up in a really shitty, bad environment with abusive parents, but that doesn't have to do with fat shaming though.
Terrible for my entire life because of the people that I came from, and I heard this stuff.
She told us how she has been put down her entire life and really put her victim mentality on full display, but the roots of her fat activism was starting to grow as she shared this delusional monologue which feeds into the healthy at every size movement.
I have had people say all kinds of stuff, tell me all kinds of things, and I prove them wrong, and so can you. Size does not determine health. Skinny
Size does determine health. That is just objectively wrong. I'm like,
people saying, judging someone's health by what they look like, how big they are, is ridiculous, because what about people who smoke? What about people who do all these different things?
We judge people who smoke too, and the people who drink.
Things that aren't healthy, use drugs, drink alcohol every single day.
Yeah, we judge the people who use drugs too.
Just because you are skinny does not mean you are healthy. Size is...
That is also true. You can also be under the recommended weight, and then you go into the anorexic field. And eating disorders and other issues, and they all correlate to health. Like, yes!
Does not determine health.
It's dangerous for a person who's over 500 pounds to deflect this much. By saying her size doesn't determine her health because smokers are unhealthy is honestly ridiculous.
No, like, generally, I agree with Cami there. Most people that end up being in such a situation where they let themselves go, or rather they embrace the weight and become so oversized, tend to be abused. Like, there is no one in their right mind that has a nice life, right? They grow up okay, have such a big problem where their body metabolism is so bad where they gain so much weight. It tends to be an abuse. Like, you can hear it in her first initial intro, right? She grew up in a really fucking shitty place where everything, like, her coping mechanism was eating. Like, her coping mechanism to all the abuse that she was facing, to how she was living, was eating. That was her solace. That's what she found as a way to escape it. So, like, does it mean, like, the part that's shitty about it is that she's become so deluded that she thinks it's okay to change the entire world because of that. Like, getting therapy and getting help is important. Depression, hunger is vile, yeah. It is.
Especially when she's admitted herself that she has health issues and literally needs a breathing tube so she doesn't suffocate. Eventually though, she started leaning more and more into this fat activism, and although this is where she gets most of her popularity from, it's also the reason she became infamous in the plus size community, and it all started with a single video. Before we get into that though, it's important to realise that J-Bay started to lean into fat activism not to be just part of the movement, but because those views equaled money to her, as she explained herself.
As a plus size content creator, I have a different set of challenges than other creators do, but I have still made thousands of dollars being a content creator, and I would highly recommend getting into content creating if it's something that you're interested in. Every day I get tons of questions about how I work with brands, how I find different brands, how I've made thousands of dollars as a content creator, and so on.
So as these videos gained views,
yeah, because guess what? Going into the pyramid scheme of how I became successful, rich, and how I get sponsorships is profitable, as of seen by a lot of influencers who end up selling courses on how to do stuff. And their main money source is the course that tells you how to be rich. So I'm like, no wonder.
Although it gained her hate, brands actually wanted to work with J-Bay just because of the views and ad revenue. However, as we'll see, not all of these viewers were positive. Now with that in mind, J-Bay posted the first of her videos which went mega viral, and that was about plus size travel.
Plus size travel tip. The Boeing 787 and Airbus A350 are the most plus size friendly aircrafts.
This 6-second TikTok got over 1.7 million views alone, and from that point, Jalen saw dollar signs and decided to go all into her travel TikToks and videos. Videos about her travel tips gained hundreds and thousands of views, and she shares how different airlines operated and how they treat fat people.
Okay, so Alaska Airlines has a similar policy to Southwest Airlines, but it's a little bit different. Alaska Airlines does require that you buy 2 seats ahead of time if you do not fit comfortably in 1 seat.
And the comments on this TikTok weren't exactly positive, but they're about to get a
my
lot worse,
God.
as one of Jalen's
Freaking
videos
TikTok,
went mega
man.
viral, picking up nearly 7 million views.
People tell me every day that I shouldn't be allowed on a plane because of my size. I'm here to remind you your size doesn't have to hold you back.
Some of the comments were
Yeah, like, honestly, that part, I don't get, like, why people need to attack her in that regard. Because she's still a human being. She deserves to be able to do stuff and exist in our world. The fact that she chooses not to get help for it doesn't mean she can't purchase 2 seats and enjoy them. Do people think berating someone is gonna make them more likely for them to do the thing or feel shame? Because that generally does not work. So, like, I don't know where people think that you can go at someone who's abused and just go like, oh yeah, you should work on that. She doesn't want to purchase 2 seats. I don't know, because so far we haven't seen anything that says she didn't want to purchase 2 seats. Then again, she did end up in prison and apparently went on downfall. Currently, we're seeing the parts where she is fine.
absolutely brutal, claiming that this should be a wake-up call, mocking her weight, and people hoping she'd paid for the extra seats. Whether it was these brutal comments or airlines not giving Jalen free seats, J-Bay started to feel as though the world was against her.
They shouldn't give her free seats. Like, I'm sorry, it's your choice if you're gonna, like, end up being like that and you want to use their private service. In that regard, it's like...
She even talked about how plus-size people could survive flights, as if getting into a plane was a life-or-death scenario, and shared her next viral video, which gained 17 million views.
Things that plus-size travelers hate. When the tray table can't come down. Worrying about asking for a seatbelt extender. Having little to no room to move. Narrow aisles and bulkhead seats. Tiny airplane bathrooms. Worrying you're going to break the toilet. Getting pat down because you're fat. Tiny airport chairs with
Don't you just get pat down anyway as a security measure? That. Okay.
armrests.
And the comments were brutal yet again, but they were about to get even more.
I mean, I understand. Like, I don't even think these comments are that brutal, honestly. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you're worrying you're going to break the toilet. If this does not motivate you, I don't know what will. I'm literally like, that's what I'm thinking. If you literally are worried you're gonna break down the toilet, I'm like, but sure, it sucks. It sucks that you have to deal with that. It sucks that you are overweight, but at the same time, it also sucks that you are telling people to be okay with that level of obesity that can result in a lot of health problems, because it is unhealthy.
More brutal as J-Bay started her first petition off the back of these videos.
So I wanted to make this video to talk about everything related to my plus-size travel petition. I am advocating for policies and measures to make air travel more comfortable and accessible for plus-size travelers. My petition is based on personal experiences of discrimination and discomfort while traveling by myself and with my partner, who's also plus-size. We have faced hateful comments, disapproving looks, and even refusal to sit next to us because of our size. The mistreatment of plus-size travelers is absolutely unacceptable, and urgent action is needed to protect the dignity and rights of all passengers, regardless of their size.
Jalen launched her petition, which at the time of recording has around 40,000 signatures, which laid bare her unrealistic demands. The first of these demands, which honestly isn't too bad, is just for flights to have a customer of size policy for tall people, disabled people, and of course, morbidly obese people. However, the next item on the list is where it gets really strange and controversial, as she demands that airlines must give morbidly obese people a free seat, or even multiple free seats, so that they don't spill over into the next chair. Many people have said that this is frustrating, as why should an obese person get an entire row to themselves just for free? Surprisingly, some airlines do actually have a similar customer size policy, and and it's led to some extremely shocking news stories. In 2023, a woman booked up and paid upfront for her flight from Montego Bay to Baltimore, where she was traveling with 2 teenagers.
Okay.
However, an obese person needed an extra seat, of course, for free. This led to the woman and the 2 teenagers being kicked off the flight in order to make room for this obese woman who had not paid for the extra seat and had not told staff that she needed an extra seat beforehand. This is where the fat activism starts to break down, as you get situations like this in order to prioritize the obese flyers. 3 people, 2 of which are teenagers, who had fully paid, had to be kicked off the flight
That
in order
is
to
so
accommodate
fucked up,
one
man.
person. I don't think it's controversial at all to say the obese person should have been the one to get kicked off the flight and wait for the next one, especially as they didn't book 2 tickets. And JB supports this exact policy, even bringing up Southwest Airlines, who are the
Like, my issue with this entire thing, right? Like, I think people that are in this situation should get the help that they need. They should, like, potentially get help because, like, they're not helping themselves, right? So they should get help from at least a therapist to work through their issues, right? But asking the world to change their views, asking private companies to ensure that you can live happily and comfortably and take priority over others, that is not okay. At least in my eyes. Like, I have nothing against her for, like, being frustrated at the world not suiting her. Because it sucks for her, yes. But when are we gonna stop demanding that the world bend to us instead? Like, it's not our fault either that she had a shitty life. It's like, if you're worried the toilet isn't gonna hold you, that's a you problem. People shouldn't have to make toilets cost more and be reinforced to make up for that. Like, you'd have to get a custom toilet. The sad reality of it, you have to get a custom thing. Same with, like, pants, right? Like, if you can't find something that fits you, you get a custom tailor version for you. And you pay more.
culprits in this case, customer size policy.
Southwest Airlines sets an
I think my main issue with this entire situation is I feel for her as a person that, like, not me, her, that was abused, right? Like, very shitty situation. Being abused and having to go for that and living in a bad situation. But at one point, she's 22. When do you decide, like, if you plan to advocate for change and everything, shouldn't you work on changing yourself first as well? Shouldn't you work on accepting that you had a bad life, you were dealt a fucking shitty hand, but you're an adult. At one point, you have to be responsible for your own actions. You can't just blame what happened to you for the rest of your life and be a victim forever, because that's not healing, that's not helpful. And, like, having to use an oxygen tube your entire life and refusing to deal with the consequences because you're young, so you have no health issues yet, it is wild to me. Yes, she's 22. It is just wild to me.
incredible example by prioritizing passenger well-being by offering a free second seat or reimbursement for the purchase of an additional seat for comfort and safety of those needing extra space. These policies enhance safety and reduces discomfort and health risks associated with cramped plane seating. Southwest Airlines' inclusive customer size policy should serve as a model for other airlines, encouraging them to accommodate plus-size passengers and eliminate discrimination.
Jalen didn't just stop at airlines and their policies, and her downfall into delusion was just beginning, as she began to suggest that hotels were being fat-phobic, and I really wish I was joking.
You should wait until she goes to Japan, guys. So people like to revel in feeling like a victim forever. That is sadly true. That is true. But it's also the problem of social media, because people sympathize with you. People want you to, like, have a comfortable life as well, right? They don't want you to suffer. At least the majority of people. They like, I feel for her situation. It's a shitty fucking situation to grow up like that. But I also think at one point, coddling it and not looking at your own, like, what you can change, right? You can't change your past. That's done. All you can do is change how it affects you, how it controls you. But, like, I went, like, because I'm going to Japan, right? I booked hotels and I looked at hotels, and the majority of rooms are like 14 meters square, 18 meters square, barely any fucking space for you to walk. And I'm tiny, and I look at there and I'm like, I can barely walk around this bed. I'd have to probably go past the bed to reach the window.
The exact steps that hotels can take to be more size inclusive and accessible for travelers of all sizes. Number 1 on the list, provide sturdy, wider chairs without armrests in guest rooms, lobbies, and common areas to accommodate different body sizes and types. Number 2 on the list, ensure beds with strong support and a higher weight capacity, along with providing reinforced chairs and wider backing facilities. Number 3, make elevators and hallways spacious to allow for easy movement of larger individuals and those utilizing mobility devices.
You want them to make the hallways more spacious. And who's gonna pay for that? Like okay, sure. We can accommodate that. Are you gonna pay for the changes and the fact that the hotel has to literally have to be restructured and changed?
Number 4, install grab bars in showers and near toilets. Offer adjustable handheld shower heads and raised toilet seats for added accessibility. Number 5, train staff to be respectful, understanding, and accommodating to travelers of all sizes.
Generally, they're trained to be accommodating and respectful to everyone up until the point you start being disrespectful. If they aren't, you can actually file a complaint regardless of your size. But it sounds like she wants to change the entire hotel. Like, does she realize the cost to demolish an entire hotel, to take it offline for that long and rebuild it from the grounds up, and also the expansions on size that you need to accommodate all of that? And like, it's sure nice to have activism. Like, sure, it's nice and idealistic, but
list of demands gets crazier and crazier, and her saying that hallways and elevators need to be wider is just absolutely insane. I've never walked through a hotel hallway and felt like I needed more room, so I'm not sure how wide you have to be to feel that way. Commenters on YouTube had different points too, such as how her raising the height of toilet seats would be absolutely disastrous for people who have real disabilities. As a wheelchair user, raising toilet seats is one of the most inaccessible things they could do. The issue is though that Jalen has now gotten herself so large that she does need a wheelchair too, and even uses a mobility scooter, which of course was gifted to her by a brand. Now it's safe to say public perception towards JB has been turning negative for quite some time, as her victim mentality, defensive crazy policies, and unrealistic demands became more and more unhinged. However, what came next was about to make her previous antics look tame. In May of 2024, Jalen took a break from her usual bragging of her paid-for holidays and took a more serious tone, as she uploaded a video of some apparently disgusting discrimination she had faced in SeaTac Airport. Basically, JB requested to be pushed in a wheelchair, but after seeing the sheer size of Jalen, apparently the employee refused and walked away. And in February of 2025, Jalen talked about it again with a plan for action.
Familiar with my experience at SeaTac where they refused to push me in a wheelchair. You saw that video, and they refused to push me because I was too fat. And they had absolutely no consideration for my physical health, my well-being, my needs.
Have you ever considered how someone feels pushing a chair for someone that's over 200 kilograms as well? And the strength that they need to be able to do that? And how it affects them? Like, you're not even disabled! Like, what the fuck, man? You're just like, oh yeah, I don't want to walk, I want to use a wheelchair.
None of the above. Well, I thought maybe I was the only person that happened to experience that, and it was just something that was really uncommon. And then I talked to someone incredible in our community, and they're a much smaller fat person than I am, and they experienced the same damn thing.
Jalen talked about how they had no consideration for her size, but commenters on the TikTok were quick to point out the hypocrisy, as Jalen had no consideration for the employee's well-being.
Pretty
even stating
much.
That they legally may not have been allowed to push over 400 pounds, but Jalen did not relent and continued on her rant.
Ever had a bad experience with SeaTac? We would love for you to come out and be part of the protest. Let's show them that they cannot treat people like this. They cannot treat anyone like this, and they cannot treat fat people like this. This is unacceptable, and it's discrimination.
So cancel culture, really?
Any longer.
It's discrimination. Seriously, it's discrimination that they don't want to push for 500 plus pounds. I'm sorry, like, you're not disabled, and clearly you said it to yourself. You're in perfect fine health, and size doesn't determine health. So, walk.
So if you want to be a part of this protest, DM me tonight, DM me tomorrow, but let's go ahead and make it happen.
That's crazy, man, demanding
Tuesday,
that.
February 4th. If you want to protest at SeaTac in solidarity with me, come on by. If you see me at SeaTac, please come up and say hello.
So Jalen had spoke to countless people who had had the same experience of discrimination and who were also outraged for the situation they'd been put in. She had planned a huge protest in retaliation, with all the people in the plus-size community to come down and make their voices heard. Jalen uploaded this call to action and gained 140,000 views,
man.
with support from the comments and her community. So February 4th rolled in, and so did Jalen at SeaTac Airport, and she kick-started her protest. However, she was the only attendee, holding up a lonely sign all alone in a pretty deserted airport. People in her comments weren't exactly supportive either. Why should someone risk physical injury to push you? So you're really expecting the average person to be able to push your entire body
like
weight
that's the
when you
crazy
can't even walk
part.
or get yourself around due to your body weight?
Like, she weighs when she measured herself at the start, right? She was weighing 226 kilograms. I'm 45 kilograms. Well, actually 43, but like I could not move her as a worker. It's like I'm sorry, man. Like you can't expect that from your workers.
Things were heating up for Jalen. The entire internet was having a bit of a pile-on, and her videos were more popular than ever. But, like we've seen, it wasn't exactly positive attention. Now, I don't agree with flat-out bullying, but I think it's important to point out the flaws in Jalen's arguments and question why we should accommodate obesity more than other disabilities, and why should obese people have priority over average-sized passengers, like we saw with the Southwest Airlines story. Now, I'm sure the pressure of the internet was taking a toll on Jalen's mental health, as no matter how mentally strong and confident someone can say they are, everyone has a limit. But
I honestly, like, the hate that she must be getting is not very helpful because it's triggering all the freaking trauma and abuse from her parents telling her that she wouldn't amount to anything. It's triggering so much hate from and like basically it's reopening her abuse, the wound up, right? Reading all those comments and everything. So it's just like without help from therapists or anything. It is unwarranted amount of hate she gets. But at the same time, expecting the internet not to phrase things in a manner, like not everyone's first language is English and not everyone cares enough to sugarcoat things for you, right? But a lot of the comments weren't disrespectful or fatphobic, in my opinion. A lot of them, from the ones we've seen, were basically telling her like, you're unreasonable. Like that is an unreasonable request. They were just telling her like, hey, you know, you need to kind of like reevaluate what you're asking for.
that alongside her failing physical health due to her size, the cracks would inevitably begin to show. Now, if you are someone who wants to make a change to your physical health, I'd highly recommend signing up to the Fat Loss Kitchen, where every Friday I'll send you high protein, low calorie meal ideas, all for completely free. Each recipe is specifically made for busy people who are trying to lose weight in a healthy way and are
You could also ask ChatGPT for the exact same thing. No offense.
sick of eating the same boring meals, and judging by the reviews we've had so far, it's safe to say people are absolutely loving it. The link is in the description to sign up, and make sure you sign up quick so you don't miss the huge announcement that'll be coming out soon. So make sure you sign up so you don't miss out. Now, back to Jalen. These cracks showed sooner rather than later, and on the 23rd of February 2025, she posted this video to her
You can just like watch our recipes, the food channel. Like, a lot of people post a lot of super healthy stuff, like a lot of healthy recipes, good values, good intake of protein, nice fiber as well. Like, our health channel is actually pretty active in recipes.
Instagram, showing her crying in the car, videoing her feet, and what seems to be her throwing up into a bag. The caption was even stranger too, and she's actually edited it so we can't see what was there in the first place, but it now reads as follows. I am now safe. My perpetrator is going to be served. I have a chat with the police department number. I am safe, and his family and what they have done to me will be exposed. And I'm not threatening anyone, but that's what God has told me to do. Now, it's not clear what was actually wrong with Jalen, except in her bio she states it was abuse and sepsis, but what she did share
my
was
God,
a GoFundMe
sepsis
for people to help
as
her
well?
with her journey to healing and safety, as she put it. I don't know why the first thing she does is make a GoFundMe, especially after bragging all over Instagram and TikTok about how she gets free holidays and makes thousands of dollars as an influencer. To me, this is a completely ridiculous thing to do, and people agreed. One person commented that her post was dramatic, and and JB actually threatened them with legal action if they didn't remove that comment. But it gets even worse. JB DM'd another person.
What the fuck? Choose widely, Gina? That's so ominous and fucking weird, man. Oh my god. Bad infection, green.
Comment. But it gets even worse. JB DM'd another person and continued to insult them, laughing at their physical appearance and even threatened to get them fired from their job, all because they liked a comment calling her
fuck? This is so dramatic. You wanna be big on bad, stand on in your car, pathetic bitch, go cry. Like, damn.
dramatic. Now, it's completely ironic that
hope you get fired once I find your LinkedIn. She's spiraling, dude. What the fuck?
JB, someone who's advocated for the rights of fat people, completely broke down at someone, and the first thing she did was laugh at their physical appearance, and in my opinion just showed her true colours as an absolute grifter. She doesn't care about the greater good or making the world a better place. She only cares if she can make money from it, and if someone tries to stop her from making money, she actually attacks them. Unfortunately for JB, the real trouble was still yet to come, and she would soon face the consequences for her actions. On the 3rd of March 2025, someone on Reddit posted some breaking news. We were tipped off to JB being arrested. Charges include a Class C felony, and her charge sheet wasn't looking good. 1 count of misuse of 911 system, 1 count of resisting arrest and obstructing law enforcement, and finally, 1 count of assault and criminal trespass. Honestly, I'm impressed that her nearly 600-pound body could carry all of these out, and I can't wait for the body cam footage to be released. Now, I'm no expert, but I think the assault charge being felony Class C is quite a big deal, and ChatGPT told me that it could lead to a prison time of 3 to 10 years and fines of up to $10,000, which JB will surely beg for money to pay for. At the time of recording this video, JB hasn't posted any updates since this incident, but has kept the Venmo and Cash App links on her profile. We can only assume she's still in prison and cannot afford the bail. JB is the prime example of a fat activism grifter.
Man.
As soon as she realized she can make money from travel videos, posting rage bait online, and get rewarded while doing so, she lent into it even more, causing her worldview to get more and more twisted and delusional.
This is what happens, man. This is literally what happens when you have freaking social media playing into your delulu. Like, bro. Again, what happened to her, how she grew up, really fucking terrible. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone, but using that as a way to like spin a narrative to make money and then attacking other people that are plus size for their body and shaming them for it. Wow. It's like, that's insane.
Set throughout, causing her to pay the ultimate price and lose all respect of the internet. Now, if you want to see more influencers who are part of the body positivity movement and met a very predictable end, click the video that's on your screen now, and make sure you sign up to the Fat Loss Kitchen and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I think personally that people should try and like look at themselves first before like there's this saying, right? Like, you can't help others if you can't help yourself first. Like, if you're not okay, if you're not doing okay, you're not going to be able to help other people. And she clearly was spiraling and having issues and health problems as well, to the point where, I don't know, it's like, is the money worth all the damage that you do into the fucking world, all the bad that you do? Because this makes fat people look bad, and most people are not like this. Most people are working fucking on themselves. They're working hard to like be happy in their bodies. Most people feel fucking shame and bad just for having, I don't know, 10 pounds over the average weight. And then you have these people going like, oh yeah, we demand everything. The fact that people don't care is very sad. Like, man, fucking influencers, man. Fucking social media plague upon us. And TikTok! Fucking TikTok! The Lulu land. The absolute Lulu land where people are like, oh, let me give you 500k views on this video where you're like, yeah, we should force an airline to change the system and the hotel to be rebuilt. It's like, yeah. The Lulu. The Lulu. Thank you, YouTube, for hanging out. The word of the day is the Lulu. Who could have guessed? If you have nothing to comment, please comment the Lulu. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to give it a like. And if you want to see more, subscribe. I shall see you next time, YouTube. Bye.